Hey everybody, this is Brad from Workforce Gaming. Just me for this one. Doug is busy with some real life stuff, so he does not have enough time to talk about video games with us today. But that's okay because we are going to be talking about, or I guess I am going to be talking about Halo 5. I just got an Xbox One after some of the price cuts coming out of E3, and of course, the first game I had to get was Halo. I'm a huge Halo fan. I've been a huge Halo fan since back in the day. It was the first game I ever played on my original Xbox. I remember waiting in line at 6:30 in the morning at Target to get that thing. And now here we are, Halo 5. And Halo 5 is the same old Halo, which I was really pleased about. But it is just Halo, and it's very Halo. And I love that because I love Halo. But if you're not a big fan, this is not going to convince you otherwise. I think if you are a fan, this is a great game because it just kind of keeps picking up where Halo 4 left off. So starting with the story kind of got a lot of crap over the past 8 or 9 months since it came out, setting up with Spartan Locke and his team and the Master Chief and Blue Team, and they're kind of fighting against each other, which they really aren't. There's very little interaction between the two, and I feel like it's been a while, but in my mind, all the marketing was like, oh yeah, we got to find the chief. We got to hunt the chief down. And that's really not what's going on in this story. The story, I feel like, is more just like, okay, Cortana woke up and sent a vision to the chief. And now he says, screw you, UNSC. I'm going to go find her. And they go, oh, well, we're going to send this guy to find you because you shouldn't do that. And that's essentially the story of this game. It's not a great story at all. It feels like that middle ground episode of a Telltale game where you're going, okay, this is really cool, this is really cool, this is really cool. Okay, we needed to get from this point to this point. We need to get from the end of Halo 4 to the beginning of Halo 6, so I guess we have Halo 5 now. And that's kind of where this story sits. It's very much there were some cool things that happened at the end of Halo 4, some really cool things that I'm excited about that are going to start Halo 6, but just kind of the boring chunk of getting there in the middle. I don't care too much about the second playable character. It plays exactly the same. There's no difference at all. If it wasn't for the voice acting and the people you're interacting with, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference of if you were the chief or if you were Spartan Locke. So, ending of this game, it has a very interesting point that it leaves off on the end, and I really want to see where it goes, but it is very much Halo 2. And if you never played Halo 2, the game just cuts off with like what feels like the middle point of the game, but it's really the end. And that's kind of not quite that bad, but pretty close to this feeling of, okay, oh, here we go. This is the big point. This is the turning point in the story. This is where it's going to get to some crazy stuff and credits. Looking at where it's at and looking at what you see in that final couple scenes, I'm very excited to see where Halo 6 goes, especially if you watch the legendary ending. They go back to some older stuff, but overall, the story, it's hit or miss. I enjoyed it as a Halo fan. You get a couple of throwbacks to some of the books, a couple of throwbacks to some of the old games, and just the way those things are kind of connecting here works well. But again, it's just It's a story, so that the game has a story, it almost feels like. So the multiplayer. It is pretty much classic Halo multiplayer. There's a couple of weird little new nuances thrown in, but nothing that really changes up the core experience a ton. You've lost the equipment that you've had in some of the other ones where now everybody just has kind of the booster jetpack thing that you play with during the campaign as well. So you don't have that one more element of customization. For the most part, again, I've put maybe 7 or 8 hours into this. And for the most part, there's not really a whole lot of, outfitting your character and everything. You can change your character's appearance and everything, but there's not the loadouts and that kind of stuff too much. It's very much just you start, here's your weapons, go have fun, which is what I love. And that was my issue playing the Doom beta a while ago. If you saw a review of that, was why are there loadouts in Doom? And Halo just went, you know what? Halo multiplayer is great. We're going to keep it Halo multiplayer, and we're just going to let you go have fun. And that's exactly what they did. There's some weird tricks with this. You've got some XP boosts and things like that you can use, and kind of this card system to get new stuff, which I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't bother touching at all. It was not my thing. I did not enjoy looking at that. I just went, you know what, forget it. I'll play with my base Spartan, look like I've never played a match before, and call it a day. But it's fantastic. I love it. Halo is one of the few multiplayer games that I really can sit down and put hours and hours into. Doug and I talk a lot about how we're not big multiplayer fans. Halo is the exception for me. I love Halo multiplayer, and this is a fantastic continuation of that. With the exception of the story, I really don't have any criticisms of this game. This is a great game. There's one small thing, and this is a huge Doug issue, big Doug issue. Doug would look at this and go, I'm not playing this game ever again. And that's the HUD and what you're seeing on screen. So Halo always has had a very busy display. You've got your health bar, your shield bar, your grenade, your ammo, your motion sensor. You've got all this stuff going on. So there's tons of stuff all over the screen all the time, which it's a Halo thing. It doesn't bother me too much. But what does bother me, and I actually thought about going back to some of the other games to check because it's been a long time and I don't remember if it was there or not, but it really stuck out to me this time if it was there before. And that is when you're playing as Locke or Master Chief. And I think this is intentional to kind of differentiate them a little bit because their visors are a little bit different. You lose chunks of the screen, which seems really weird and like a really bad design choice to me. And I'm not sure why it's there. And again, maybe it was there in past Halo games and it's just something that's now starting to irritate me and being a little bit older and, a little bit more critical of things, I guess. I don't know. But just, it's not huge, but you lose the corners of your screen so that your vision looks like you're looking out the Chief's visor or Locke's visor. And it's just, you lose so much screen space there that playing on a bigger TV like I am, it didn't bother me too much other than going, well, I could get a smaller TV and see the same picture if you got rid of this black crap around the sides. But thinking about people who are playing on a smaller TV, I can see that being really, really irritating. I don't understand why it's there, which was weird. For the most part, the weapons are great. The game is fun. It's classic Halo. 343 knows what they're doing at this point. 2 or 3 games into their turn kind of making Halo here after Bungie left it. But Halo is a game that made me want to get an Xbox One. I'm really glad I didn't buy my Xbox One for Halo because it doesn't have that huge impact that I thought it would for me. It's definitely more Halo. It's great. It feels just like Halo did on my Xbox 360, which I don't think would have been a huge problem if this came out as a launch title. But now having played Uncharted 4 and seeing how Uncharted 4 took what the PlayStation 3 Uncharted did and took it to a whole new level and did new different things about it. And you can see our review of that to see that me and Doug just absolutely were in love with that game. And I know not everyone was, and some people had some issues with the way that game was developed, but you can see the step they took from going from the PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 and Uncharted. I don't see that so much with Halo. Yeah, it looks better. Yeah, there's some cooler things that they do here and there, but for the most part, it just feels like this could have just as easily been an Xbox 360 game, which, not a huge knock on it, but again, having played Uncharted now, I want to kind of see that next step of where can we go now with video games. So for the most part, though, I love it. I'm going to spend a bunch more time playing the multiplayer. It's a great game. I really enjoyed my time with it. But again, if you're not a Halo fan, there's going to be nothing here to change your mind. So that'll do it for this review of Halo 5. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us here on YouTube, iTunes, wherever you want to listen to us at. We will see you later.